Joining me is Nigerian actress INIDINMA Okojie, who left the investment banking to join New York Film Academy. From there to Nollywood. Now, her character in Blood Sisters, the Nigerian thriller, seems to have shot her career to the next level. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome INIDINMA. Okay, first of all, welcome to East Central Exclusive.
Thank you for having me.
Before we go further, you see the way I called you INIDINMA. Please clear the air. Let us clear this confusion. Pronounce your name the way you want them to.
My name is Ini.
Okay.
My surname is Dima Okojie. My surname is a compound surname. How INIDINMA came to be, you know who I blame? I blame my Igbo online family. They want me to join them so much. And they just decide to go for the juggler, INIDINMA. Some even go, INIDINMA. I said, no, that's not my name. I love you, but that's not my name. My full name is Iniboku, short for Ini. Oh. So yeah, I don't know where that came from, but for some reason, like...
So Dima Okojie is together.
It's
What's
together.
the meaning of Iniboku?
Iniboku, it's a whole story. It's a story about a beautiful bird, the white bird. And whenever Iniboku, the bird, comes to the riverbank, the other birds clear the way for her to go to the front, and they all stare at her. So it means beauty, grace. She's like a queen.
Even the way you said it, I knew it had to be something beautiful, something beautiful. So there you have it. Now you know how to pronounce her name. Please don't make that mistake next time. So quick one. You went from investment banking to acting.
I know.
Why the switch? And for you, the reason you left investment banking to film, have you achieved it so far? How's it been?
I mean, it's been an incredible journey. I would do everything the exact same way. And investment banking was great. And for me, everything I put my hands in, I try to give it my everything, you know? And it was fine, but I didn't realize I was just existing. Do you get, until I cut the bug for acting. I remember the day that decision started to grow in my mind. I was just there, you know, normal day at work, and a friend of mine had sent me a trailer for this show. It was a series called The Island, and it looked so good for its time. I'm like, oh, Nollywood, we're doing things like this now. And then I remember reading the bio of all the actors. A few of them had gone to film school, and after that day, my life literally changed. Like, all I would do is dream about it, dream about acting. And I always had like a flair for it from back in the day, but I used to have such a shy personality, so it's not anything I ever thought I would actually pursue. But yeah, eventually I found the courage to quit. I went to film school, and there was just no looking back from that point.
This big break that is everywhere right now, everybody's talking about the Blood Sisters. Come on. Oof. Did you land the role in Blood Sisters? Like, that's like the question on my lips. I have a series of questions going, but how did you come about Blood Sisters? Because I know you love acting and everything that has to do about it. Was it easy for you to imbibe that character of Sarah?
I mean, so first of all, how did I get the role? It was a whole process. And it was during COVID, like, thick times where everybody was still very careful. And I remember getting the sides. So usually as an actor, they'll send you some sides for audition. So you might have like, maybe in Sarah's case, I had 3 sides. So I had to record it and send it to them. And I remember seeing the sides, and from the sides alone, I literally knelt down and I said, God, I really want this. Like, I need you to do this audition through me because I want it. For like just those 3 scenes, I could tell it would be special. So I sent in those sides, and then like a week later, I got like sides to also read for Timei. And it was so crazy because from Sarah's side, I thought I had a grip of maybe what this show, whatever it was. But then Timei was another angle entirely. So I'm like, hey, well,
they were also contemplating Timei.
What is this show? What is this show? And then I auditioned for that and sent it in. And then the next step was physical auditions. At that point, they wanted me to read for Sarah, Kemi, and Timei. And at that point, it was about 31 sides. And I only had the weekend to have it off book. So I remember sending them an email telling them, guys, it's a lot of sides. Like, is there any character you want me to focus on so that, you know, I can come like fully prepared instead of spreading myself to a thing? And I remember Auntie Mo called me immediately and she's like, yeah, that she understands, like, that in their mind, like, they see me in all, but they just want to see which one. Like, you know what, let's focus on two. And then she's like, you know what, read for Kemi and Timei. So on my physical audition, I actually read for Kemi and Timei.
Wow.
And Netflix was involved from the very beginning. And I remember Nancy and I, the way they did it, you auditioned alone, but then they paired you as well. Nancy read for Sarah all through for her audition. But then by the time the tapes got back to Netflix, they really wanted me to play Sarah, and they wanted Nancy for Kemi.
And now look at where Sarah is today.
So perfect.
Blood Sisters literally ran up like top 10, less than 24 hours. In 3 major countries in less than 24 hours. When you guys got that news, please tell me, what was your reaction?
Look, it was wild. It was wild. Like, we were in chats that usually Nigerian movies, African movies just generally never see, like the US, the UK, countries I can't even pronounce. We're in just 24 hours. We're in over 20 countries, top 10. Our very own Nollywood. Like, the pride, and not just for me, but I think it was a win for everybody. It was just, and for me, like, I love acting so much. Like, all the other things that come, they're like cherry on top. They don't matter. Like, it's good, but it doesn't matter. This job, it means everything to me, and I get goosebumps every time I talk about it. Like, it's a blessing to be able to be a vessel to bring these characters to life. And you don't have it all the time when the stars align like this. Like, everybody got it. I got to play such a deep character. I got to really give myself to something. And it's been so rewarding because it can take a toll going that deep for a character.
Going deep for a character, I had to do more with domestic violence and abuse, right? So I know presently there are a lot of women in the world who can identify with your character as Sarah, what she went through.
Absolutely.
And how she survived it, how she came out of it, especially when you have a friend who's also your sister by your side. Now, Dima Okojie spoke about how he got into his role and the toll it took on him, even afterwards getting out of it. So your role as Sarah, what did it take to get into it? And how were you able to carry it?
After reading the script, after the excitement of just how amazing the script was died down, the next thing that quickly came to my mind was all of the work that I had ahead of me. Because Sarah and everything she went through, it was intense. So I like to put it in 2 groups. It was challenging for her mentally, emotionally, and physically. Now, physically, what I had to do for the part once we're on the run, Nancy and I actually went on a no sugar, no carb diet, and we're working out almost every day together to get in shape for that. And the physicality had to take a toll. You have to see that it was taking a toll on her, you know. It had to be balanced because Sarah had to, it's not like it was an action movie where she was like a trained person. The physicality had to take a toll. You have to see that it was taking a toll on her, you know. But the more challenging aspect was the emotional part because she was a broken woman. And we met her as a broken woman. And what that meant is she had this whole history that the writers didn't give us. But for me to be able to play her convincingly, I had to build someone from the very first day she was born. What that was like. Was she an only child? You know, what was she like in school? Was she shy? You know, was she bullied? How did she accept that? Did she have love in her home? You know, did they hit her a lot? Like when did this her when did this her vulnerability start? When did she start to have this shell? And how did it progress? Because she was so used to being bullied, even by Kemi, that was her friend. But thank God that was in a good way. Like, she was so used to being told what to do. It didn't just start with Kola, it started since. So I had to build that and really believe that. So the work had to start from me, you know. And for me, like, as an actor, like, I can't pull from like the surface. And there are different tools. Everybody has different tools. And even for me, for each role I have to play in different films, the different tools I use. Now for Sarah, I knew that I couldn't pull from the surface. I had to go deep. Like, I had to go there to be able to give like a genuine performance, to be able to emote when I need to cry. Because I can't just say, you can't tell me cry. I just like, no, if I'm going to cry, I have to really feel it from inside, you know? So it was very tasking, it was very challenging. It took its toll mentally and physically on me, Ini. But the beautiful thing is, when all of that work is done, and then, you know, you do all of this work, but then you now have to be very present and you have to let go in real time. But then we also had the most amazing directors, like world class. Kenneth Yang, when I started this industry, I wrote a list of the directors I wanted to work with, and he was literally top 3 on that list. And then B. Banile is a legend. Like, look, everything came together. And then when you now also have a team behind, because you can do all what you want to do. In fact, if you like, bring Leonardo DiCaprio and Meryl Streep, bring them, give them rubbish crew that don't know what they're doing. It's going to end up bad. But then be people behind the camera. Oh my goodness, every single person was excellent. Every single other character was excellent. And that is why everybody was able to shine and people are able to enjoy this film. And then I had someone like Nancy, we worked, it was 2 months, we filmed for 2 months. And trust me, we had crazy hours, like we worked till sometimes 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m. in the morning. We went to Makoko, jumping, those things we were saying were real. We went to Ekpe, we were barefoot for most of the Ekpe shoots in the mud with cow poo. So we were just surrounded by like the most amazing team that made unwinding for Sarah, even if it did take its toll and it took some time, but it made her unwinding a bit easier.
Following up on what you said right now, the theme of Blood Sisters itself is very broad.
Yeah.
Like they went from domestic violence to organ trafficking, and then to, what should I call it, favoritism in parenting, family life, lifestyle and all that. But really, I think for such limited series, we just had like 4 episodes or so.
One hour.
Yeah, there was so much in it. Yeah. I think that was what was more intriguing, because each episode had something people had to learn from. Absolutely. You had to understand what was going on. And this is like the reality in our country presently and in Africa, globally, everywhere. Do you think Nollywood should pay attention to more serious themes, focusing on societal issues in their movie productions now? What's your opinion on it?
So for me, I think that film there's so much to do when it comes to film, you know, and what you want to do, you want to be able to educate, you want to be able to entertain, you want people to be able to relate. So yes, it's beautiful. What I love about Blood Sisters is, as intriguing as it was so relatable and it touched on like very important topics. But there's room for people to laugh. There's room for people to fall in love when they watch. Like film, you should be able to do what you want. So I think that, you know, we don't now need to now go on just one trajectory where everything is this heavy topic. Yes, if that is, it's great that that's out there, but there's room for people to think as freely and as big as they want to, because there's so many in the world and everything can be heavy. You know, sometimes you just want to escape, and that's the beauty of film, you know?
It's a room for you to escape, but we're happy. I think we're breaking out of the norm, what people would usually see in Nollywood. Absolutely. That's why Blood Sisters just went, because it was different, it was refreshing.
We've never done a thriller before.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
But is there a character in mind from probably what you've seen or an idea you've had, you've been nursing, that you would like to portray in the nearest future?
So I get asked this question a lot, and for me, the way it works is, when there isn't necessarily this one character I'm out to play. However, the most important thing for me is whatever I'm doing, it has to challenge me. It has to take me to the next level. It has to either challenge me, excite me, or keep me up at night. Those are the 3 things that I need out of something I'm reading. So, you know, whether it's something deep or something in, like, even if it's a funny genre or something crazy, like, it just needs to keep my belly, it has to keep my heart beating. Like I have to read it and be like, Lord Jesus, let me, now, Ini, let's use it as a punching bag for this character, you know? And that's really how I like to approach it.
There's another question I want to ask you. Now, coming to our wedding. It's like,
oh, my hand is heavy.
What's
it so heavy? The 2 hands.
See, if I'm the one, this is what I'll be doing. People, it's not easy. She's my no, like this is what a bride should look like. She's glowing, she's happy, she's thankful, she's joyous. I heard about how you guys met.
Yeah.
And I'm like, chocolate? Chocolate?
Take notes. Accept chocolate from a stranger.
Okay, so if you see a message from Bolani online anytime, so mine is ice cream, by the way. That shows that the hand of God was in it.
Yes.
Whether we like it or not.
And guess what? So my first name and his first name, Abasi, do you know what it means? It means God's time.
I know. Abasi is God. I guess. Are you serious? God's time. So everything just worked perfectly for you guys. Man, congratulations.
Thank you.
Again. But we need to know that a single lady in Nollywood is different from a married one. So my question now is, do you think your new status as Mrs. Ini Abasi Enobong, that's the pronunciation, right?
Yes, you're close. Enebong. You know, I've learned now, so I have to make my people Enebong.
Enebong. Okay, guys. Mrs. Ini Abasi Enebong. Do you think it's going to be like some form of challenge? Is it going to cause a challenge to a particular role or character someone might want you to play? Do you think it would reduce your opportunities to get more roles in the industry?
The beauty about like just my relationship and my marriage and Abasi as a man, especially like actresses, you struggle in relationships a lot. But from day one, he's been my biggest supporter. He pushes me so much. Like if I thought I had great work ethic, now he's like, if I'm tired, he's like, record the audition. He recorded my Timei audition. Let me tell you. So they had sent the Timei one, and then they sent it in the evening, and they wanted it that evening.
Oh, wow.
But I had to, it was 3 sides. I had to learn. We stayed up together till about 5 a.m. He was going to work the next morning. He's like, oh yeah, do it again, let's record. He's my biggest supporter. He wants me to reach for the highest level in this whole world. So if there's anything that's going to change, it means that he's ready to do whatever it takes to make me the best and the biggest actress in this world.
Okay, guys, you have it. So here is Ini Abasi Enebong, our INIDINMA OKOJIE. I
You just did it again. She just did it again. She's the problem.
Don't worry, I'll get to learn it more. We're getting better at this thing.
Ini, short and sweet.
Ini. Okay, so guys, you have Ini with us today on East Central Exclusive.
This was so fun. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Thank you for joining us today as well. We look forward to having you again.
No problem.
I'll still invite you. Don't worry. We're all your fans. So till next time, do have a great day.